Nice to meet you. It's me again. Today, I will bring you a better lesson than ever: mental state, appreciation, and gratitude. There are 4 parts in today's lesson. First, we will learn about mental state and people with mental state wealth. Next, it will be obviousness. Finally, we'll explore appreciation and gratitude. A mental state is a concept we may have heard of. However, to understand and realize the reality of our own state of mind and of others, we need to go further into details. So what is the mental state? It is understood as an inner emotional state. For example, you live and work in a city far from your hometown. You last brought your family home to see your parents almost a year ago for many reasons. One day, your parents suddenly came to visit you and your family, bringing many vegetables and specialties from the countryside. Your whole family was happily reunited, and your inner feeling was great. You are grateful for your parents' presence. They feel your love and respect, which is heartwarming for them. To you, it is the feeling of appreciation and gratitude. To your parents, it is the attitude of love and tolerance towards you and your children. Those 2 inner emotions are one of the manifestations showing one's mental state. So what is the person who can control their mental state like? They are people who are actively decisive and responsible for their inner choices in order to control external circumstances. It means when facing a situation, that person chooses the love layer to deal with it, uses the traits layer to analyze and distinguish it, and uses the mind layer to accept it. This process will help one master their mental state. For example, someone tells you that you look beautiful today. At that time, you can actively use the love layer to face it, show your gratitude to thank them. Or, you can use the traits layer to respond, ask them how beautiful they mean when complimenting you, whether it's about your face, your body, or your clothes. Or, you can also use the mind layer to accept it, gently listen to them and know that they praise you, then let it go without starting to think about it or having any feelings towards it. This process is how we actively choose our inner state of mind when dealing with external messages. Of course, we are responsible for whatever choice we make when selecting states of mind. What are people with mental state wealth like? They are people who can always keep their appreciation and gratitude in the love layer, generosity in the traits layer, and happiness in the mind layer. People with mental state wealth grow appreciation and gratitude based on their inner generosity and happiness. For example, if you have mental state wealth, you will have the following emotional states when someone tells you that you are fat. First, you use the love layer to control your pride about your appearance based on your appreciation and gratitude. Then, you will consider the criticism a reminder to yourself and not get angry. Suppose the love layer can't work out that way. In that case, if your appreciation and gratitude are not enough to handle the problem, and you feel uncomfortable, then use tolerance in the traits layer to overcome the criticism. If that still doesn't work, use your inner peace in the mind layer to accept the problem as the emptiness nature of the issue itself. In other words, you purely acknowledge what people say to you without having any reactions towards it. As mentioned above, there are 3 more concepts in understanding mental state: appreciation and gratitude, tolerance and inner peace. Let's clarify these concepts in detail so we can easily accept reality and apply those in life. First, we will learn about appreciation, gratitude. To understand this, we must first understand the obviousness. Have you ever wondered why we appreciate and be grateful for those who have helped us only once but resent the people around us who help us every day? That's because we have formed the obviousness from the bottom of our hearts. When the trap of obviousness appears, your appreciation, gratitude for the person you're facing will disappear. On the contrary, when you keep the energy of appreciation, gratitude, you won't form obviousness, and the resentment feeling will vanish. However, the obvious will arise when you don't pay attention. Appreciation, gratitude disappears where the obvious is present. For example, your wife helps you cook, wash clothes, and take care of you daily. At first, you felt very touched because no one had taken care of you like that before. But after a while, You may think that is her obvious duty, and you may no longer feel thankful to her. Also, when living together for a long time, you often tend to pay attention to your wife's mistakes instead of valuing her good deeds. You think your wife must do those obvious things for you, her husband, and focus more on her mistakes each day. As a result, that will make your marriage life suffocating and uncomfortable instead of happy as it used to be. Resentment and gratitude are two opposite emotions. The obvious will not form when a touching feeling appears. Then the appreciation, gratitude will grow. Then, of course, there will be no room for resentment. On the contrary, the obvious will accumulate when there's no touching feeling. Where there is the obvious, there is no appreciation, gratitude. The resentment will develop when appreciation, gratitude fades away. So what is appreciation, gratitude? It is an inner emotional state towards things, events, or people. People who have appreciation, gratitude are those who feel touched by things, events, or what others do for them and society. A touching feeling arises when we receive what we think we do not deserve to have. For example, you've never had a birthday party since you were a kid. But one day, your husband and his family secretly held a surprise birthday party for you. When you got home from work, you suddenly had a warm and happy party with your family. This makes you feel very moved because this is something you've never expected. That's when the emotion and gratitude grow inside you. People who like to share the knowledge they have learned with others are those who have appreciation and gratitude towards the knowledge and the people teaching it. When we receive new knowledge, we should give it away or share it to increase its value. If you take and do not give, it will become stagnant, like water stuck in a pond. However, if a pond receives water and then continues to circulate it, the pond water will turn into the river water. Similarly, if we share the learned knowledge, it will continue to flow and benefit many people. A person may cultivate the energy of appreciation, gratitude when others' good deeds easily touch them. No one will give us guidance if we don't cultivate that energy. We will go faster when we have companions. That gratitude energy helps us multiply what we have. Therefore, we must appreciate the lessons learned through hardship and dissatisfaction instead of those difficult situations themselves. In order to grow, people need to learn the lessons, not the adversity. If we are grateful for trouble, more trouble will come. As we are grateful for something, those things will increase. Excellent customer care is caring for touching feelings. The same goes for taking care of our loved ones. Thus, each of us needs to consider whether others' good actions easily touch us. We'll tell you a few stories about appreciation so you can understand this concept better. First story. A store owned by a married couple in a village opens till late to sell goods. One day, the husband was about to turn off the lights in the front yard before going to bed, but the wife stopped him and pointed to the front porch. So the husband looked in that direction and saw a couple of street cleaners resting and eating happily under their house lights. The husband let the lights on and went to sleep. Due to this action, that street cleaning couple stops by the store every night to rest before continuing their work. Since then, the store owners always keep the lights on for them. Second story. A long-distance hiker slept under a tree by the roadside as he was tired. While sleeping, a snake crawled by and was about to bite him. Since he was so tired, he didn't know what was happening. A passerby saw this and killed the snake, then quietly left. The sleeping hiker does not know that the other person silently helps him. Also, the helper does not help to get recognition from anyone. In life, many people silently help us, but sometimes we don't know, and they don't have the need to let us know. Therefore, we always need to have gratitude for those around us because there is a lot of other people's help in this world for us to live well like we are. That support includes food, clothing, entertainment, studying, work, etc. Hence, we always need to value and appreciate them. So we have learned about mental state, people with mental state wealth, obviousness, and appreciation and gratitude. See you again in the next class. we'll learn about the second concept in mental state, which is generosity or tolerance. Thank you for your listening.